Today, I'm going to show you guys how to freeze your waves and explain to you why we even freeze in the first place. Let's get into it. Before we get into the clips, let's go over some terms so we know what we're talking about when we're going over freezing. The terms are freeze, permafreeze, slow push, and bounce. A freeze is when the minion wave is kept in a certain spot by keeping some minions alive from the previous wave and holding it outside a tower. Permafreeze, exactly the same as a freeze. Main difference is you're going to hold a bigger wave or a cannon wave, so you can hold this freeze until you're the one that decides to break it. A slow push is when you stack multiple waves together, crash it under the enemy tower, and this gives you tempo to either make a play or reset. And a bounce is after you crash the large wave, the enemy can start to slow push the wave back towards you, and you can choose to either catch it under your tower or freeze it. This is referred to as catching the bounce. And two things I want to clarify when we talk about freezes and permafreezes. When we talk about holding a permafreeze forever, what I really mean is somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes during lane. The way minions work in the game, they're going to get stronger as the game goes on. If your team is ahead, the minions are going to be stronger than the enemy minions, and it'll always end up pushing back. I'm talking about holding permafreezes with cannons or 6+ minions during laning phase. That is it. And when we talk about freezes, I'm talking about freezes that are usually 3 to 4 minions that'll always result into slow pushes. When you freeze those type of waves, you're usually doing it temporarily to gain some sort of advantage, whether it's to stay safe in lane from the enemy jungler, or so you can crash a big wave under the enemy tower so you can base. That's what we're referring to. When we ask the question, why do we freeze? These to me are going to be the 4 main reasons. The first one is you're stronger than your opponent, so you can deny them CS and experience. The second one is so we can avoid ganks on split maps or when our jungler is on the other side of the map and we know the enemy jungler is playing on our side. The third one is control over the lane and wave, meaning that if you're freezing, usually you can start slow pushing a wave, stacking a big wave, crashing it under the enemy tower, giving you tempo like we talked about to make plays or reset. And the fourth one is to make your opponent gankable. Maybe you're not stronger than them, but maybe you know they have no flash and your jungler's on your side and you can set them up to be an easy kill. Now we're going to get into some examples of me freezing and the benefits of why I did it. I'm 2-0, I'm Ambessa vs Swain. I just slow pushed a wave and now it's bouncing towards me. I'm coming back to lane and now I have the option to just catch this wave under my tower like we talked about and start another slow push. Or if I think I have kill pressure on my 6 with my ignite, I can walk up, freeze the wave, and look for a kill on the Swain. So I walk up, I see how much of the wave is available, and we see it's basically a full cannon wave. So I'm going to pull it into the bush over here, and we're going to see what happens. I'm just going to last hit the wave. Some of it ends up bleeding under the tower, but because I have pots, I can keep now still 5 minions alive. I pull it up again, and we can see my Warwick was bot side, but Swain still can't walk up because he knows I'm stronger than him. I'm thinning the wave. I'm keeping it here. Now we have 4 minions alive. Swain ends up leaving, and because the wave creeped under the tower, thinned out a little bit, now we're into a slow push. So we start stacking, and then I end up finding my kill angle right here. This Swain, now that the wave is stacking, I mean, you can see, I'm up 2 levels. He could just try to catch this wave, but if it catches off the slow push, we know what's going to happen. It's going to bounce again. I'm going to be able to freeze again, and I'm just going to keep bleeding this guy out. So he oversteps. He greeds for a little bit of gold. I look for the ult play. I jump on him. I ignite him. I ult him, and he's one shot. So we're going to come back. I'm 3-0 now. It's 9.5 minutes in. My team is not in a great spot. My tower is full HP. I come back, and we see, again, wave is here. I'm going to try to grab it, pull it up, because I need to be the difference maker in this game. I need to be the one getting a lead. So I pull the wave up, and I freeze again. Freeze 5 minions. Freeze a cannon minion. Swain is still standing here. He's really far behind. He's down 2 levels. I walk up. I try to spot him. I'm still very far ahead. Cannon is still being frozen. And finally, the Swain bases. And his bot lane is going to come bail him out. But look at this situation that we put the Swain in. 101 CS to 44, 3-0. This game may not have gone well. I may have lost this game. But I did exactly what I needed to do to put this Swain as far down as I could and play my lane the best that I could. Let's go over another example. I'm Ambessa vs Fiora. I'm 0-1-1. Game is pretty even, and I've had pretty good control over the lane. I ended up stacking a big wave into Fiora, and now it's creating a slow push on her side, but it's one that I'm going to be able to contest. So she's last hitting, and she's going to leave here now to go try to contest my jungler in the river. So I'm going to pull the wave up, freeze it on my side, and this is not a perma-freeze, okay? This is going to be a freeze that will result in a slow push. We're just going to keep it here for as long as we can, and even here, right? I'm trying to keep it on my side while I'm winning the trades. She greeds a little bit more. She walks up one extra time. Get a good trade. Miss my ult. Classic. And then we're going to look for the all-in. Mess up the Q2 timing, but we end up killing her. And this is all off the back end of just continuously pulling this wave onto our side against the champion without good range, without good wave clear, and forcing her to walk up on our side of the lane when we have a pretty decent, advantage in the 1v1 against her. When she gets chased down like this is not how Fiora likes to play. She likes to be the one chasing the enemy down. Now we're back top. We crashed a wave under Fiora's tower, and we're going to try to hold another freeze. So I try to get here in time to pull the wave properly. I don't end up grabbing the cannon, so it's not going to be a perma freeze, right? It's just going to be a normal temporary freeze where we can force Fiora to walk up and be in an uncomfortable position like we talked about. So I'm just last hitting, and then when she walks up, I look for a good trade. I'm on my side of the lane. Bop her in the head. Now I kind of have control over the lane. She walked up, took a bad trade. I get the fast push and walk down one wave. And now look, we end up catching Lilia in her jungle, and this is all because we froze that one wave, force Fiora to walk up, take a bad trade, and we put ourselves in a good position. We're going to come back top, and we're going to do the exact same thing. She's going to leave, I'm going to freeze the wave, and we are in a beautiful spot in this game. Alright guys, I hope the example showed you how to freeze and explained the benefits of it pretty well. Wanted to go over the terms too, just so we were all on the same page. There's plenty of nuance when it comes to the game of League about when to freeze, when not to freeze. How do I know that freezing is the right decision here? Like every time I freeze, enemy laner leaves and he goes and kills my bot lane. You can't control that. Sometimes the enemy laner might leave and he might go fuck your bot lane. It's happened to me plenty of times. I've also gotten frozen on many times where I've just decided I'm not going top anymore and I'll just go do something else. I simply wanted to explain some of the benefits to freezing and what you can do when you're in a situation where you can freeze. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.